Hi, this is Greg at Simplified Software. This tutorial focuses on how to add a customer or a vendor. So from the main menu, you'll take your mouse and go to Modules and either Customer or Vendor. And you can see that the customer entry screen is up. And to add a new customer, we'll go to the button New Company. And the first thing that you're confronted with is, what ID do I use? We recommend a alphanumeric ID. And so let's go put in an ID that we kind of think we already might have, so I can show you the error that you might get. XXX produce. And hit the tab or return key. We get a message that you must have a unique 8-digit company ID or that you already have this. So what you can do is hit revert field, come back up here, go back up to the top, and type in your company ID. So we'll go XXXP for XXX produce, and there you go. So we now have XXX produce incorporated. As you can see over here, we already have an XXX produce, and that's why we got the error message before. We'll put in an address, city, state, zip. If they're not in the US, you can put the country. This is a very important element, and that is what type of customer vendor it is. And so at this point, it's a customer. And these other items in the drop-down are used for other areas of Broker Advantage. So if it was a trucker, for example, when you go find on trucker, it'll only bring up all the truckers. When you ask for a customer, it'll only show you all the customers. And so that's why we define them. Now, you might have this customer might be a customer and a shipper. And if that's the case, so you can see it more readily, over here under module use, we'll change it from AR to both. That way it's usable. We'll put in phone numbers. Down here, this is an area in which you can have as many email and fax addresses that you want. And then when you're in Broker Advantage in the work order, you can pick from the multiple emails or the multiple faxes that you could fax or email to. So I'll just put in one quick email here. And in your fax numbers, you must always put the area code, because the fax program requires an area code. And you can put a contact person. Now, if you want another one, you can just go here, right under email, the next email down, or if it's just a fax, you can put a fax here. You can see that we can have multiple faxes and multiple emails. If you make a mistake here and you want to delete one, just click on the line that you want to delete and hit the little garbage can button right here. It'll ask you if you want to delete it, and boom, there it is. Now we've done this section. This section here for shipping information, you can have as many ship to locations as you want. If this happens to be the first ship to location, then you can come back up here and see where it says update ship ID. This will update the very first ship ID for you. Put in the shipping ID as primary. Put in all the same information that we had here down here. And then you'll notice over here under automatic work order data entries, it'll also put in primary for the ship to address. If we want to put in another ship to address, we can just select the next arrow, come here, put an ID in, and the ID you can put in, let's say this is the Santa Cruz shipping location. So you can just put SC for Santa Cruz, or you can type it in, or you can put second. Again, you need to figure out what your nomenclature is to make it work in your world. We'll just put in SC, And you could actually even have a different company name if you wish. We'll just put XXX Produce. The shipping addresses, city, state, zip, and so forth. Now I want to bring your attention over here to automatic work order defaults. These are very important because every work order you do, this information will automatically default in. That doesn't mean you can't change it in the work order, but this saves you typing strokes. So we already have a ship to ID as primary. We'll bring in the default contract. That will be the contract line by line that you would see on the work order. So FOB is typical. You can see when I leave my cursor into certain fields, there's a help line that will pop in. Here's for brokerage if you're doing brokerage with this client on a regular basis or you're giving him a rebate. Then you want to put in what terms that you have set with him. Net 21 is typical. If you have lots of people in your organization, you can assign a salesperson to it. You can leave it blank if you wish. And this is the freight billing. So again, if we typically are always selling this guy as delivered, we would want to use that. Again, this can be changed in the work order on each work order, but this is the typical default that you would use. Grade, there's many grade types that we can use here, and you can add as many as you want. The typical one is no grade. His accounts receivable status is open. Now, I just want to point out that you can see some of these things here that have a blue underline. And if you want to zoom to them, you can by clicking on the grade. And it takes us to the grade entry screen where you can see the data. And we can also add a new grade if we wish. Go back to customers. And here we are again. I'll take you now down to the general comment section. In general comments, that's used as another automatic default for the work order. If you want to have an invoice comment or a loading comment, let's say this guy wants his pallets turned sideways. Well, in that case, what you can do is you can type in turn pallets sideways. So every time you load this customer, it'll have that default comment. Or if on the invoice you just want to say, thank you for your business, you can type that in and that will always be there. The system will technically auto-saves. If you click into any of the gray area or click the Enter key on the 10-key numeric pad of your keyboard, you'll get this message. Save. If you say don't save, what it's going to do, it's going to clear it and you'll start over. If you say save, then it saved this record. This is the only set of screens, vendors and customers, that we ask you if you want to save. And that's how you enter in a customer.